in a nutshell, desistance from crime is the long-term sort of abstinence from criminal behaviour, engaging in crime and whatsoever. So, although that's just a word, and what particularly annoys me these days is that everyone's using desistance as this new buzz term, this new sort of, we've found this new term that's going to help everyone sort of stop committing crime, and it doesn't mean anything. I mean, desistance is a process. It's a very hard process that, as someone like myself who's sort of been to prison and engaged in criminal activity for quite a long time before I changed my life around, whatever that does mean. But, you know, we just throw this word about, especially now in terms of policy, you know, the government and all that, Ministry of Justice, NOMS, National Offender Management Service, talk about desistance as it's like this new cure. And actually, it's like I say, it's a very sort of difficult process that needs a lot of investment from not only the individual, but the people around that individual as well. For me, education really sort of made me realise that actually there's different things that I can achieve in my life. Apart from, you know, I was a successful roofer, I earned a lot of money from it, and a lot of money from crime. Hey, that's the environment I came from. I did an access course when I was waiting for my court trial to come up. I wasn't in a great headspace there anyway at that point in time. I got a hunger for knowledge and for learning and for education, and then my court trial came out, I got found guilty and I went to prison, but I continued with education. And it was so important in prison, because in prison, right, you've got two choices really. You can, well, obviously you've got a few. You can sit in your cell, take drugs and just get out of your head all the time. You can go to education, or you can go and work. And for me, it was education, and it was so significant. Desistance is not only a process, it's a maintenance process. And it's, in my view, it is similar to, okay, I'm a smoker, okay? And I have this love affair with cigarettes. I hate cigarettes, but I love cigarettes. And I stop for a year, then I'll start, then I'll stop for 2 years. And it's all about, in terms of this, using that as an analogy, or using a recovering alcoholic as an analogy, using that in terms of desistance, it is a maintenance process. There was a element of rationality there. I did sort of think to myself, you know what, I want to change my life. But just making that decision is one thing, right? And actually seeing it through is a totally different ball game. I think support systems are very significant for people. So using my own experience, okay, yeah, right, I've made this decision to change. I actually made the decision to change when I was seeing a therapist, right? So I said, when I got caught with drugs, right, coke, quite a lot of coke. You know, I'd been in prison on remand for a few weeks, or actually prison, not that nice. Obviously I'd been arrested and non-custodial convictions before that. And I went and saw a therapist and that, and he was the one that sort of through therapy that made me think that I could get into education while I was in prison to use the time sort of positively or whatever. So, you know, that was the initial point. But having my then partner, she's my wife now, that, you know, that sort of support, sending me in my sort of college work to do, you know, the support from the tutors on the access course, who were, one of them came in and said, right, I'm going to set this, you know, all those support, the education, head of education at Pentonville where I was in prison, you know, all those external support systems at the early stages of desistance. You know, at the later stages of desistance, you're out of that environment. I'm not going to go and sell drugs now, am I? I mean, you know, I work in an academic institution. Why would I go and sell drugs? We could always do with a lot more money, right? But, you know, even on academic salaries, which I guess are, in comparison to the rest of the population, are quite good. You know, we could always do with more money. I'm not going to go and sell drugs or get a few of my dodgy mates who get hold of the whatever, dodgy this or dodgy that. And you know, I'm not going to do that. You're in a different environment. You've got you know, you take on these different roles, and there's certain behaviours that go with their roles, and there's sort of, you're aware of the consequences of your actions. Actually, if I went out and had a fight, I could lose everything. You know, if I got into a fight on the street and done over someone bad, I could lose absolutely everything. My wife, my kids, my job, everything. For what? So I think, you know, it's those pro-social attitudes, behaviours, different role, different environment, mixing with different people. I think they're, in addition to they work together. This notion of desistance being internal and internal change or down to social processes, in my view, absolute rubbish, right? It's very complex, and these two things work together and they facilitate each other and they evolve together. That's how it works.